Hey, it's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And we're back with another edition of the M Squared TechCast on a drizzly Monday fall morning here in Detroit. So Kathleen, you're going to talk to us today about, with two of your many hats on. The first is Diva Tech Talk, host of that fine podcast. And the other hat is the Michigan Council of Women in Technology. So whichever one you'd like to start with, go ahead.
Great. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate you letting me go out of the box last month to talk about freedom of speech and technology insofar as litigation is concerned, et cetera. And the month before, I did concentrate very much on my passion project with Nicole Scheffler, which is called Diva Tech Talk. But because I gave short shrift in both of those podcasts to my other main passion, which is, of course, I'm a 17-year volunteer for the Michigan Council of Women in Technology Foundation, I'm going to spend most of this podcast talking about MCWT. But just to mention Diva Tech Talk, we will be doing one more podcast probably midway through October, and we will have reached our 100th mark in 5 years. Again, for Nicole and I, that is part of our charity work. We do it maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks. And for anybody who'd like to hear that library of the current 99 podcasts that have been done to inspire girls and women to enter the tech field, please go to www.diva, D-I-V-A, tech, T-E-C-H, talk, T-A-L-K.com. They are timeless with a lot of common threads and themes. But to get to MCWT, the Michigan Council of Women in Technology, I'm a 17-year volunteer. It's an almost 20-year-old organization. It is the premier nonprofit in the state of Michigan, supporting the growth of women and girls and diversity and equity among women and girls in technology. As you guys know, we've been around a long time. We've gotten to do a lot of things. Our website is www.mcwt.org. And I have a lot of things to talk about because I didn't talk about it in the last 60 days. So first of all, as you remember, probably when I was on in June, I mentioned that we were, or July, I was mentioning very quickly that we had our Southeast Michigan golf outing, which was in its 15th year. And it was the third most profitable we had, despite the fact that we only had, we had only 2/3 of the number of normal golfers. Well, for years, we've been trying to expand in a more dramatic fashion into the western side of the state. We've had many programs there. We've had scholarship programs there, et cetera. But we finally moved our fundraising over there in a serious way. And on September 21st, it's so interesting, Mike, you mentioned golf. We did our inaugural, very first West Michigan Golf Classic. We raised in our first year $70,000 for our multiple programs. We had 87 golfers, all appropriately masked and maintaining social distance, except obviously when they were out on the course. 3 executives who golfed with us from major sponsors of ours, Stryker, Whirlpool, and Spectrum Health. Plus, we had over 20 volunteers work the event to ensure that it was safe and would be profitable. And we had 16 sponsors total, including, and this is really great for us, we have a community partner that we've had for about 5 years. We've been talking to them for a while, and finally, under Rosemary Bayer and then Kim Cross, we brought in a strong relationship with Grand Circus, to whom we have often given money and support for their programs, and they came in on the event as our community partner. I'd like to do a few shout outs about that event because it was our first event. A woman by the name of Candy Wilkerson led that team of 20 volunteers, sort of like herding cats. And we have a longtime male supporter who is the vice president of Secure 24. His name is John Boniface, and I've known him since his Sun Microsystems and then Oracle days. But John has been leading our golf outings into strong profitability for over a decade. Also, Sentinel One, in their very first year of sponsorship, was our theme sponsor, our signature sponsor for the event. And we want to thank Brian Schnabel, who did a wonderful job, first of all, getting his own sponsorship, but also among the 16 sponsors, he introduced us to 3 of them. So as you may know, I think I've mentioned this a couple of times, this year's president is Melanie Kalmer, who is the CIO for Dow, another Western, sort of semi-Western company. And she has been really spearheading our growth into Western Michigan, which we've been doing in fits and starts for 7 to 8 years. So we're really excited. And because the event went so well, even in COVID times, in September of 2021, we'll be doing it again, hopefully double the amount of profit. And it'll be at the Stonewater Country Club in Caledonia, Michigan that year. Then to move on, we have some deadlines this week. So I was so glad you guys were going to let me on this week. First of all, on September 30th, our Ignite Mentoring Program, which is a benefit to our middle-aged, younger, and older members, but those who want and need additional mentoring and counseling. We've been doing Ignite Mentoring for going on 9 to 10 years, and applications for both mentors and mentees are still open at our website, www.mcwt.org, and the deadline is September 30th. Also, another deadline for us is that, as you know, we've given close to $1.5 million worth of scholarships over the last 15 years to undergraduate and graduate school women in the state of Michigan who are pursuing technology education. And our applications for those scholarships for the next year, in other words, starting now, and we'll be awarding them in 2021, open up on October 1st at www.mcwt.org. And additionally, we've done a website competition for middle school and grade school girls, and that will also open October 1st on our website. And that's for 5th graders through 12th graders. And I think last year we had over 200 applicants and teams, 200 teams rather, who competed. We had more than that in the number of applicants, and that's always an exciting event. And we usually do the judging in December or so. Also, this past weekend, we had a great event that we've been co-sponsoring with the Girl Scouts for a number of years. It's called Girls Rock IT, and this year we called it Cyber Girls Rock IT. So we did a little bit of a new branding. That went really well. It was sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield, as I said. And again, as part of our Western Michigan expansion, Stryker will be sponsoring another version of that, along with West Michigan Girl Scout chapters in around November. And last but not least, every year, you guys have heard me talk for years now about the IT prom, right? It's when everybody gets dressed up. We always have a theme. And it is the big black tie event that MCWT has done for easily 14 years. It is our #1 fundraiser of the year next to golf. Well, actually in front of golf. This year, because we are in the middle of the pandemic, we will be doing it virtually. The theme of this year is called Embrace the Moment, which makes so much sense, right? From a branding perspective. Most of the women that I am close to at MCWT have more than embraced this move to digitalization, which has been part of our nation's response to COVID, right? So our host this year is Fiat Chrysler Automotive, and one of my dear friends is their Global Chief Information Officer, Mamta Chamarthi. You may have heard of her. She was the Chief Digitalization Officer for ZF up until about a year and a half ago. And prior to that, the CIO for Consumers Energy. So Mamta is part of our leadership on this event. We had to pivot as many companies as possible to take over and become, part of our sponsorship here. Please take a look at the website at www.mcwt.org. The date for our virtual IT prom, and we invite you to dress up, do whatever you'd like if you're a sponsor or a donor, or if you want to attend, will be October 17th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So the open bar will be at your house or your office, but we'll still promise to have it be a lot of fun, and there, as usual, be a fair amount of content.
So that means if I wear a tuxedo, then I just wear the upper half. I can have shorts on underneath and stuff.
Hey, I'm going out to dinner tonight and I'm wearing this, but right now I'm wearing yoga pants because I did yoga this morning and I intend to change to jeans. So I invite you to follow my great example. Actually, for the last 4 years, because I've been doing the social media for the event, I have not shown up, but I've been sitting in my jammies at a kitchen table, tweeting as people were sending me pictures. So this year for me, there will be next to no change.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I remember having a great time just doing it while all my friends were, as I said, either tweeting me or calling me or sending me things. The content, of course, we'll have to be very creative about, But again, I love the brand. Embrace the Moment is so much a part of who the agile, talented technology women of MCWT are. Not just the women, right? 20% of our membership is also men. And we have a lot of male sponsors like a John Boniface, who I mentioned earlier. So whether you participate individually or you invite your spouse to come, or you bring other guests, you can always be sitting around your own kitchen table and join us. But we do ask that you do sign on to our website to check it out at www.mcwt.org. Also, in the month of October, we'll have a bunch of our lunch and learns. I also talked about them a little bit in July. We do them every month, some at noon, some in the evening. And you can see those invitations if you follow us on the website, or also I handle our Facebook site and our LinkedIn site. And we put invitations to all of those various events out there constantly. We're a little less active these days on Twitter. But one of the exciting things for me is two of our newest volunteers on the marketing team are 17 years old and 16 years old, respectively. So they're about to take over our Instagram and Twitter accounts. So I imagine those are going to blow up in the fourth quarter in a fascinating way. So baby boomers and Generation Z combining for the exact same mission, furthering women in tech in the Silicon Valley of the Midwest, Michigan.
Got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, well, that was pretty much, as usual, I speak too quickly. I will say that we've been very, very grateful to the Girl Scouts for their co-sponsorship of Girls Rock IT. When we first started it some years ago, we did not have them as a direct partner, and we were struggling a little bit. And all of a sudden, once we got the Girl Scouts, when we had actual in-person events, there were thousands of girls coming and hearing our message. And we discovered that continued into the cyber version of it that we had this past weekend. So we love the Girl Scouts and everything they stand for, but we particularly love our Michigan partnership with Girls Rock IT, and we hope that continues ad infinitum. So that's about it for me. Nicole, one last thing. There's a new diva in the world. My co-founder of Diva Tech Talk has recently given birth to Stella Scheffler. So we now have Stella for Star, right? So we have 4 divas, right? I mean, we have myself, we have Nicole, and we absolutely have both of her babies. So that's it on my side.
All right. So give us once again those website addresses
Right.
for people to look up both groups.
Right. Diva Tech Talk is at www.diva, D-I-V-A, tech, T-E-C-H, talk, T-A-L-K.com. And the Michigan Council of Women in Technology, 20 years leading girls and women so that we can diversify that field in a dramatic fashion and have Michigan lead in diversifying IT, is at www.mcwt.org.
All right. Thanks very much, Kathleen Norton-Schock, for another fabulous 15 minutes. Great spending time with you as
Traditional
always.
four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.